always ready for love coming my way. Why would I not be? As long as people love you, it feels great. If they hate you also, it's fine. It's kind of the opposite spectrum of love. At least they're noticing you. You're getting a reaction out of them. It was great. I want to go back to set. I want to go back to Spain and relive the experience all over again.
Like the Tomatino Festival.
Not the Tomatina Festival, but everything else, sure. Try having tomatoes over you for 7-8 hours a day, and you know what I mean.
Hi Abhay, welcome to Pinkvilla.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
All right.
I got to see Spin before the rest of the world, and honestly, I never thought I needed Abhay Deol as a Disney dad, but now that I've seen it, that's all I can think about. So I actually want to know, how did this project come about? Because this feels like such an unknown territory for you to enter into.
Yeah. Well, I met Manjari, the director, 3-4 years ago. She lives in LA and I half live in LA. So we met, it was a general meeting to say hello. Our families have worked together. Dad was in the industry. Mr. Makmohan has been a legend himself. And so we just bonded over being from the same sort of neighborhood and background. And 3 years later, she calls and says, by the way, I'm doing a film for Disney and you have to play the dad. And I was just like, how old are my kids? Because I don't play dad to really old kids. So, no, just kidding. No, I was like, sure, let me read the script. And yeah, I mean, that's how it started and came into place. As far as unknown territory is concerned, I mean, that's just been my thing in any case, right? It's been fun to sort of explore and go into arenas and places where I haven't been before. That's what life is all about as far as I'm concerned.
Also the fact that it's not just Disney princesses that a lot of people have a crush on, but it's also Disney dad. So are you ready for the love that's going to come your way for sure?
I am always ready for love coming my way. Why would I not be? As long as people love you, it feels great. If they hate you also, it's fine. It's kind of the opposite spectrum of love. At least they're noticing you. You're getting a reaction out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, who's to say no to love?
That is true. One thing I liked about the character that you play is that he tries his best to be a modern dad, but then he has certain traditions, ingrained in him. For example, he'll still give a 2-month grounding period for, lying to her dad. So what was your equation with your dad, growing up? Was it similar to Arvind and Rhea, or was it very different?
My family is extremely conservative. Arvind's character isn't a conservative. He's actually very progressive. But he's a dad at the end of the day. He will discipline his children. And, all of us are conditioned. It's not necessarily that he's conditioned by Indian culture, but he's conditioned by whatever environment he grew up in.
His upbringing.
Character who's moved from India to the US and has had marriage and children and business. So he's as American as he's Indian. He's kind of both, and that would have had its conditioning on him. So, but that's just how people are, So it's important to portray them for who they are.
That is true. For example, when I was a teen, Archie comics were my favorite growing up. And, with Rhea, it was her DJing skills. So when you were growing up, what were your hobbies? Besides obviously becoming an actor, but besides that?
I like painting and drawing and swimming and
multifaceted.
I like having fun.
And you shot for this film during the pandemic, and you had to shoot with COVID protocols and all of that. So how pressurizing was that, to be in that environment in close contact with people when there's a pandemic on the loose?
I mean, I was never worried because Disney is so particular and careful. We were tested 3 times a week. We had to have our masks on at all times. Only at action we would take them off, and at cut we would put them back on. They had one person delegated especially for us actors who'd be like, put your mask back on. And you didn't want to fight with her. She's lovely, actually. So it was kind of depressing on one level that we're going through this, but on another level, I was like, well, there's obviously a lesson to be learned here for us as a species. Toronto's a lovely city, but to just see everything shot was depressing too. But I was thankful for the work. I was thankful to be engaged, and I think all of us felt that.
That is true. You know, coming from one coming of age movie to another, I have to ask you, what was it like reuniting with the cast of, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara one more time after 10 years, everyone together? How was that feeling?
It was great. I want to go back to set. I want
I
to
can
go back to
imagine.
Spain and like relive the experience all over again.
Like the
So,
Tomatino Festival.
not the Tomatina festival particularly, but everything else, sure. Try having tomatoes over you for like 7-8 hours a day, and you know what I mean.
There were even rumors of you collaborating with Karan Deol for Ajay Devgan's next. Can you comment on that? Because it's very exciting to see the Deols together.
I'm speaking to you from the set of the very same film.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So we get a confirmation. That's amazing. And I have one more question, which I wanted to ask. Is Abhay Deol team donuts or team jalebi?
Donuts or jalebi? I would say
Yes. Jalebi for life.
jalebi. Not for life. I mean, I wouldn't eat either, but if you had to have me choose one for the moment,
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of donuts.
I actually never thought that I'd hear jalebi in a Disney film for the longest time. So to actually see that as a storyline arc was a lot of fun. But thank you so much, Abhay. Best of luck for the movie, and we can't wait to see you in more projects.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Abhay. Thank you.
Bye.